Hey, Phil, we're live. How's it going?
Hi, George.
You can hear me. Hey, I want to welcome everybody to this episode of the Lehigh Valley We Love podcast. A little different. We're going to do this one live, more of a musical edition. I'm your host, George Wacker, along with our co-host, co-host Phil Reese, who helped
You've
us
always
out.
struggled with the inversion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Phil helped us out with planning a lot of our Music Fest picks. They were based on his taste and the music that he's experienced. You can see some of his photography in the background there. And we wanted to continue some of that and continue to talk to some of these artists we experienced in Music Fest and who have been nice enough to say, yeah, we'll go live with you. So
I know it's been wonderful. The engagement with every artist during the festival just kept inspiring us to want to do more. And then now afterwards, we were like, hey, would you want to do a post-fest interview? And pretty much we've not yet hit anybody who thought that was a bad idea. So,
well, yeah, I think we're going to get into it too. They're probably like, hey, we don't know if we'll be sitting around or not in the next couple of months. But who we have today this is great. And we were just talking before we started. I think this was his 7th year in a row at Music Fest. Blair Crimmins, an Atlanta-based musician, determined to bring ragtime and traditional New Orleans jazz, the sound, to a new audience. He's one of the Southeast's most exciting touring musicians. I guess Northeast now too. He's up here. Plays all sorts of music. The banjo is the one, I guess, that you would say he's the most recognized for. So for people who aren't familiar, I'm going to play a little bit of a clip here to get you, and then we're going to bring him in.
Beautiful.
And you shot this, right?
I did, yeah.
But now tell me it's not going to load. Let's try it again. There we go. All right, so
it took everything in me not to be dancing and toe tapping during that. I had to stay still. I was like, wow.
All right, Blair, we're gonna bring you in just so you're ready for it. Here we go. Thank you, Blair.
In.
Welcome, Blair.
Hey, my dog just thought that was an invitation.
That's even better. That's perfect.
That is terrific.
What's the dog's name?
Don Rickles.
Love it.
So we just call him Rick.
So what has been going on? I mean, Music Fest hasn't been that long ago, like a month ago at this point. What have you been up to since then?
Well, we've been gigging around Georgia and Atlanta. We had some stuff when we got back and festivals and things like that. So all the outdoor festivals that were rescheduled from last summer are rescheduled for this summer, and they actually stuck. So we've been kind of busy. It's
so far so good.
So
far.
Yeah. So far so good. We've got some more stuff coming up in the festival season. Outdoor stuff. We'll see how it goes when everybody's got to be indoors for shows. But we've been busy, and I released an album before we came to Music Fest. I released a CD called OK Boom, which is all of our cover tunes. After five releases of original music, we decided to do a full album of cover songs because we've been playing them for years and people enjoy them. And
which people should know too. It's not just a cover song. It would be as if something like Psycho Killer came out in 1920. Like you do it in your style.
It's a rearrangement of contemporary songs and classic jazz songs. So some people might know Postmodern Jukebox is that band that revamps, new song. They'll do like really new stuff like Taylor Swift. We did stuff that songs that meant something to me, which a lot of the stuff from the 60s, 70s, and early 80s, Iggy Pop, David Bowie, Van Halen. But then we also did more traditional covers of like Louis Armstrong, Bessie Smith, and Fats Waller, stuff like that. No, we didn't do Fats Waller, but Sweet Georgia Brown, Georgia My Mind, and Muskrat Ramble, all those older tunes.
Which people would know, maybe not by title, but when they go listen to it, they're like, oh, I know that one.
Yeah, they've heard it before. It's kind of just like embedded in your subconscious.
Totally.
like the background of life. So you've been to Music Fest. We're counting the virtual ones. So I think 7 years in a row you've been booked and played there. Is that one of the furthest north you go? I don't know. Like, where is it something? Do you go play all? Because I know it's more of a southeast based touring for you, but you're all over the place, correct?
No. Yes, we're all over the place. We go up and down the East Coast, and we do Midwest tours, and we go out west too. We've played a handful of shows up in Portland, Maine, and that area. So we and New York City, we've played numerous times. Philly and yeah, we get around. Actually, yeah, Bethlehem's a nice like little middle stop for a Northeast tour.
You keep coming back. What about Bethlehem? Have you been able to walk out there or experience some things outside of performing?
And Bethlehem has just been so great to us and so appreciative of what we do and so receptive. And I think I've said this on stage numerous times, is that it was one of the first festivals to book me before I had an agent. I was sending out hundreds of packages on my own and following up with people, and they got in touch with us and put us on the festival, and it's the one thing that it happens every year, and we look forward to it, and I'm so glad that I actually knew where to send that package 7 years ago.
That's excellent.
Yeah. I want to ask one music question, Phil.
It's
before
like
you get
family
into
there. We walk around and people come up to me with their kids, and they're like, "We come and see you every year." Mm-hmm. And then not only that, but we'll go and play other places all over the country, and people will say that they saw us at Music Fest.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, Phil, didn't you just see him like walking up during Music Fest, and you're like, "Oh, hey."
Yes, absolutely.
That's kind of the beauty of it.
And I even said, I was like, hey, you said, you would meet people at the Red Stag. And you're like, well, what are we waiting for? Let's go get a drink. And so you're like the perfect Music Fest performer, because not only is it bringing this very different style, extremely talented band and such, that's like so Music Fest in of itself, but then you'll walk around and talk with people and get engaged. And that's just what I think the beauty of Music Fest is all about right there.
It's a lot of fun doing that. And what's funny is that I think for the first couple of years, we were playing exclusively at the Arts Quest Center in the movie theaters.
Yeah,
and we walked. I mean, we would get out and walk around, but we had no idea what was on the other side of the river.
Size and scope of it. Yeah.
Until we got booked at Volksplatz, and we were like third year. We were like, whoa, there's a whole other
two sides of the city.
Yeah, and I hear people the other way. There are bands who come in and they only ever play, Volksplatz or Plaza Tropical, and they've never seen the Stacks. Yeah. So then they get booked like opening for somebody or at the Levitt stage, and they're like, "Oh my God, what is that?"
I had no idea. Both super cool, but there's both such different sides of a town. And then on top of that, we were also staying at hotels like out in Easton, which is a whole other town. So it took like as many years as we were playing there. It wasn't until like the third or fourth year that we really were like, "Oh, Bethlehem." We we got the whole picture of what it is.
So I had one music question, Phil, before I let you go into it. I was watching a video and it said when you first started playing banjo is because you were looking for a specific sound that you couldn't get with a guitar. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the early recordings that really inspired me and in the early stages of developing the band were Louis Armstrong's Hot Five and King Oliver, Jelly Roll Morton, stuff like that. And those are all scratchy records, like but one thing that you hear, and sometimes it's just, it almost sounds like part of the drums is this chunking sound in the background, this rhythmic instrument, and sometimes it's a hi-hat, but a lot of the times it's this tenor banjo, and it just really for me and it defines the sound of those early recordings of the 20s and early 30s, because it's played with a pick. It's a 4-string banjo, and it's played with a pick, and it's a rhythm instrument, and it's designed to just be loud as can be, to get through to the microphone, while you have all these horns and stuff playing that are really, really loud instruments. Guitar wasn't going to do that, So So playing a really loud, punchy banjo, the 4-string banjo like I play, it's called a tenor banjo. That's what I heard in those recordings, and I thought that was just like the quintessential sound, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I found one, and I really knew nothing about it, but I found one that was made in the 20s and restored, and I bought it and had it shipped to the house, and I just kind of figured out how to play on my own, just working out the chords and stuff because I've been playing guitar forever, so you know I could kind of figure it out. But that in the last couple of years, I've learned more about the tenor banjo and been able to network with other tenor banjoists, although it's a very small kind of group of people, and I've learning more about what the instrument can do than just drumming and playing.
In that video I watched, you were almost, because you had to play guitar in one of the sections, and you were kind of like, hey, please don't be offended that I'm playing guitar in this banjo video. Is there like a pretty strong banjo community?
Was that the one that's called Old Town Pump? Or
I'm not sure. It was in a video for the banjo museum.
Oh, okay. Yes. So I got connected with the American Banjo Museum in Oklahoma City, who are really great because they also have a strong emphasis on the 4-string. But I like to. I'm a guitar player, really heavily influenced by Django Reinhardt, and so a lot of those duets that you're talking about and some of the stuff that I've put up with the American Banjo Museum is me playing a Django style guitar and 4-string banjo accompanying myself. And I got clever with the green screen this year. I learned how to use a green screen and edit it so that
There's a lot of subtle humor there in all of your videos, including these duets. And George, maybe we'll show one right now. But you have this duet where you're doing it with yourself. You obviously record one of the tracks first, and then you play it for yourself and play the second one. And the images behind are always something to do with the song. So we'll let this play a little bit. If you want to talk over it after.
That's Tom's Hungarian dance. 12. So I just put ourselves in Budapest.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was like we're busking out here, but there's a pandemic happening, so nobody's out in the streets, and we'll have to pack up afterwards and try something else.
So you have 12 of these duets out there on your YouTube channel. They're all wonderful. Was there a challenge to them recording them? Obviously, you're playing them once and then second for yourself, or was that like?
It was just a project that gave me some accomplishment during the downtime. And one thing that the pandemic did for me was allow me to really, really focus on my tenor banjo playing. As I was saying, I learned a lot more about the instrument, and I was able to really work even harder at my guitar playing. So what I did for that year was learn Django Reinhardt transcription. Transcriptions are like the solo note for note. So I was learning all Django Reinhardt transcriptions and Louis Armstrong transcriptions, and also music on the tenor banjo by this guy right here, who is like the big papa of tenor banjo, Harry Reeser. So all this stuff I was learning and just playing by myself, and I found that way to just accompany myself and then showcase it and have fun with it. And it allowed me to really like have to perfect it, because some of those would take many, many takes before I got it right. But it's good for your, it's a good workout.
Practice. Yeah.
You should put those on TikTok. I think they do pretty well.
Oh yeah.
If they're not already, I'm just.
Yeah. Some of them are. I mean, TikTok I think is like a minute and a half or something.
Yeah, true.
I'm trying TikTok, but I can't ever come up with anything short enough.
That's the same with me.
And to get on TikTok.
And anything, just in case anybody doesn't know Django Reinhardt or these names, this would be like learning how to play chess by watching the grandmasters of all time. Like, you are challenging yourself and at the highest level.
Django is he's a powerhouse, but one of the most cool and relaxing things that you could listen to. Actually.
Oh, totally. They make it sound so easy, just like you do too. Like, you make it where it's just so enjoyable, but what's going on is this incredibly highly complex. And not only are you extremely talented, but your band members are extremely talented too.
Thank you. Well, yes. I mean,
the hookers are very talented.
Hookers, and as I always say in the song and at the show, I'm a hooker too. So it's we all self-deprecate ourselves, but the the band that I have, they make me sound terrific, and we have a great time, and they're just super talented musicians.
And a true testament to you, I think, is also that with Music Fest being the type of festival where people are repeat performers and we're repeat attendees, it's not lost on us to see that you bring the same band members back every year for the most part. And that's obviously means that you are you have a chemistry, you have a bond, you have a trust, and because other band leaders are coming back each year and it's different people behind them every year. They play the same music and so on and so forth. But that's a true testament, I would think, to you and they want to play this music with you. They're a true family band together.
I try and keep everybody together as long as I can. Some people have babies or get other jobs or whatever. But everybody that has played Music Fest with me knows that it's going to be fun, and I really don't have a hard time getting them back on the road to come up there and do that.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah.
So I just had some more. I forgot I had one more Music Fest video.
So that's Oh Angela. I had a question on that song in particular. Is there an Angela? Was that written for somebody, or is it just?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
That was not a hard song to write at all. Yeah. The lyrics. People who are watching, go and look up "Oh Angela" by Blair Crimmins, the Hookers. And
do you think she ever listens to it and she,
knows it's about her?
Because it's out there now. You can't take it back.
No, I couldn't. I can't take it back. I cannot take it back. I told her that.
Do you think like her friend? Do you think if I was one of her friends, I would like play it when I was around her and stuff?
I don't know. I wish her the best. It was a long time. It was a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, it unfortunately for her, it turned out to be our most popular song in Atlanta, where we both live, and. Yeah, I didn't know I didn't know it was gonna go that far, but I'm stopping now.
Talking about fun things, the videos, like a lot of your, I guess, your professional music videos are a lot of fun. Like they're choreographed, a lot of really slick. Do you have a lot of input on that? Because it seems like that's like a lot of your style seeping out into the
I really take a lot of. I get a lot of enjoyment out of the art direction and the development of the album covers and the videos and just the overall kind of direction of everything. This album cover right here was one of the easiest ones I've ever done. I got on the phone with the artist and I told him my idea, and I'll give you the story real quick. The OK Boom. The idea came from this gig we were doing in St. Croix and the islands, and we would go down there and we would play for like a week and a half, and we would come back with hardly any money. But hey, it was a free trip to St. Croix. But one of the gigs that we had to do was this resort gig where nobody really cared about us, and somebody came up to the front of the stage, and we were playing this like 20s style music, and he was like, "Hey, how old do you think we are here? Look around. We're all in our 60s or something like that. Play some Bob Dylan. Play some Stones." And we're like, you see the band that we're with. We're not going to play the Rolling Stones for you. And it was kind of okay, boomer. Like that. That old phrase. But eventually, we did start like working out some of those classic rock songs, and so that's how we came up with the. OK Boom, which is a collection of the 20s and the classic rock stuff. But I just that was based on that meme of Batman like slapping the person in the face. Yeah.
Did you design that? or
No, we had artists.
okay,
Yeah, Lucas Ryan, who I get. We talked on the phone for a little bit. I gave him that story, and he said, "I'm thinking
yes,
about
great.
and it was like, boom, he gave it to me like a
Done.
week later, done. But some of the other stuff takes a little more collaboration. The music videos,
Sure.
with the exception of Old Man Cabbage, that was directed by somebody else.
Because that was part of a movie, right?
That was part of a movie.
Right.
Most of the other videos, I write the scripts and storyboard everything. You got to sell something video I wrote out and storyboarded, and then the production team added some other stuff. But I generally know what I want to do with that kind of thing. Because it's enough creative outlet, you know?
Oh, totally. Yeah. If you want a treat, go look up the video for "It's All Over Now." Not only is my favorite song, but the video is hilarious.
And that was the collaboration with the local puppeteer in Atlanta, David Stevens. And but yeah, I did write the script for that one as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically a take on Sesame Street character-ish kind of thing, and it's wonderful. You won't regret it.
Muppets out bar hopping.
Yes, exactly, and karaoke singing after several beverages.
Yep.
So I wanted to take you back a little bit. I think people would love to hear a little bit of how you got to where you are, if you don't mind sharing a little bit of that story. I would love to start it too with when in your life did you know? When we're all put on this earth to do something, and you're definitely put on this earth to play music. And so where in your life was it in a lesson or a certain song or applause in it? When did you know that this was inevitably you were a musician?
That's a good question. I can't really think that far back. But it just seems like I always, at some point in my childhood, I knew that I wanted to be a musician, and there was everything else took a backseat to that. But there's a defining moment, and I just told the story the other day, so I'm glad that it came back to my mind. Really, I was at this when I was about 12 years old. I'd been playing guitar since I was 8, 9, something like that, and a friend of mine's dad took us to this place called Chastain Park here in Atlanta, which is, I don't know, probably a amphitheater, like an outdoor, a big ass place, to see Bob Dylan and Santana. And I was just kind of getting into classic rock and stuff. I knew who both those guys were. I would become a bigger fan much later, but we went, and Santana was the first band. Me and my friend went down to the front of the stage. We kind of snuck down there, and we were dancing. Everybody else was sitting around. It's kind of like an upscale venue, so people are sitting there drinking wine and eating pasta salad or whatever. But we're dancing, and the security sees that we don't have a ticket to the front, and he's like, "Get out of here." I turn around, and Carlos Santana is up on stage doing this to me.
Wow.
And I'm like, "Is he waving at us?" And sure enough, he was like, "Come up." And so we went up to the front of the stage. They pulled us up on stage.
Wow.
Me and my friend, 12 years old, and they gave us cowbells and tambourines and put actual microphones in front of us. They wanted us to jam with them. And I was playing with Carlos, with Santana.
Are you waving at your dad?
My dad wasn't there. It was my friend's dad. But, but my teacher the next day at school was like, "I saw you on stage." In middle school, and we were playing for a sold-out amphitheater with Santana. I was like, "This is pretty cool. I think I'm gonna stick with music."
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is he's sharing his applause for the story. He thought it was a great story, which it is. And so that's excellent. Thank you for sharing that. And then there's the pivot point in your career. So if we fast forward a little bit to it's 2007, you're currently the front man for, I believe it was called Bishop Dan.
Yeah, Bishop Don.
Bishop Don. Alt rock band, probably just doesn't feel like you're wearing the right clothes. And then there's this day where you go to walk your dog. And can you share that story?
Yeah, sure. It was the band had a good run. I mean, I'll say that, but there became a point where it felt like we were trying to just do whatever would take us to the next level, and still, rock music is hard. But I didn't go walk my dog. I drunkenly got on a skateboard and let my dog pull me around a parking lot. And then I don't remember much after that. I woke up 3 days later in Grady Memorial Hospital with a massive head injury. Somebody found me in the parking lot and I was bleeding out of my ear and so massive traumatic brain injury. And it was after that I started to feel a little bit different about music. It's weird to talk about it now because now I've been just the way that I am for so long. But when I think about the way, the way that I was and the way I was feeling about music before, it was much different. Something kind of happened where I just found this niche that felt supernatural to me, and to everybody that was a fan of the band before, they kind of thought it was pretty stupid, but I was just doing it. Seems to be
working out. Yeah.
I was just doing it for myself because I wasn't interested in the music I was making anymore, and I just got suddenly just really obsessed with this early jazz stuff and started writing in this style. It came seemingly out of nowhere, outside of the accident that I had, and I've been going at it ever since.
And you got a lot of success pretty quickly. Like you record that first album, you get the opportunity to do that Old Man Cabbage movie, like to record the score of it. I mean, to orchestrate whatever you wrote that music.
I had no idea what I was getting into. I just, like I said, like, this is weird. This is weird music. I'm going to try and mix ragtime and with like rock and early jazz. And then a lot of opportunities sprung up pretty fast that just, like the affirmation just kept happening. Like, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. And that there was a market for it that I had no idea existed.
And what are you looking? Where are we at now? I mean, I don't feel if I'm jumping in your line of questions, let me know. But I'm curious. We were talking a little bit about Music Fest been a month. Like, are you planning into the fall now? Have you had any cancellations, unfortunately, or anything like that?
Yeah, we started to have some cancellations. So, the pandemic is giving a lot of musicians perspective on stuff and reevaluating, what you want to do with your career. And, for me, I really reconnected with the joy of playing actually during the pandemic, because, years of touring. And although we weren't the hardest touring band, we toured a lot, but, people do a lot more than us. I felt like I was putting maybe more energy into just trying to get around the country than I was into the music. So it's just time to focus back on music. And if things go dead for a while, then I'll probably start writing a new original album, and it might sound a little different than stuff I've done before, but it's time to branch out and do that,
Yeah. So you said you had the banjo there. Would you mind playing a little bit?
Oh yeah. Forgot.
My dogs will give me a break.
Hey, I'm gonna highlight you for a little bit so we get out of the shot.
Well, I hate to see you crying. So if you don't mind leaving, you just go see. There's a hole for you to crawl and die. Always split the face, we know those days are through. And now I'm going downtown, getting off that way. Because the game's on my mistake. Stop the whole fire. Playing drums on an old gas can. There's on the bridge, touch my hand, yeah, I'm a mean man. Well, about 4:30, get my hands dirty at the chop up, be like a jail. Get no respect from the back of the band. I got a boss that's small and hell. I said it was a rap job, so took it off. Oh, that's how she rolled. But it made me feel better, take a rest and let it have a shovel right down the throat. So let's stop the whole
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So hey,
And-
we appreciate your time. This is fun. I'm trying out new things like this, so we appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us. What do you want to plug most? Some upcoming shows, and the album is out. I've been putting the website up there.
The album is out. The new CD is out. Okay, Boom. It's available on Spotify. All that stuff, and we are going to print to vinyl soon. So that's gonna vinyl. Oh gosh, when's the release date on vinyl? I think it's coming out.
Everyone should just
October 15th.
I was going to say, everyone should just sign up for your email distribution list, and then they'll get it that way.
That'd be good, yeah.
And you do have a show coming up, I guess it's September 25th in Georgia, but still, Blind Willie McTell Music Festival.
Yeah, so we're playing.
That sounds like a good time.
That sounds like a great time.
Blind Willie McTell Music Fest is that's gonna be great. That's been postponed a couple different times. We're playing with Sun Vault.
They're good.
Yeah, there's a couple. It's a good lineup. And then before that, we're doing something in Barnesville, Georgia, which is a festival there, and Alpharetta, Georgia, Wire and Wood Folk Festival. So we've got some fun stuff coming up if you're in the Georgia area. Can't wait to get back up to PA though.
Absolutely, can't wait to have you back this way.
The next time you come up, we'll go to Red Stag then.
Let's
100%.
do it. I think I know that we're trying to book for next year. We should be in Philly too at the City Winery there. That one's on the books.
Terrific.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Blair, thank you so much. We appreciate it again. Thank you for your time and playing for us as well. That was great.
Yeah. Had a good
Thank
time.
you so much, Blair.
Talk with you guys later.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, Phil. We want to say thanks again to Blair. Blair, you can hold on for a second, but we want to say thanks again. And we're going to be live again in a few minutes, so come back.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great first chapter of the day, and then we got 2 more coming, so stay with us.
Sounds good. Talk to you soon.